Young General Rex Lai is hiding a jaw-dropping secret. He has fallen for his sworn rival's fiancée. From the very first moment they met, he lost his soul to her. Day and night, all he thinks about is how to take me for himself. But I was childhood sweethearts with his sworn rival. A betrothal contract had already sealed my fate. Rex had vowed never to marry. He planned to love me in silence, from a distance. But his mother went behind his back and arranged a marriage. On the wedding night, he is so furious he can't even bring himself to lift my red veil. I stay calm. Through the veil, I speak softly. My husband, are you planning to leave your wife alone on our wedding night? Rex freezes. He reaches for the ceremonial scale on the tray and lifts my veil in one swift motion. The moment our eyes meet, the scale crashes to the floor with a clang. He stumbles back 3 steps, his voice shaking. How is it you? I immediately throw on my best frightened face and shrink back. Who are you? I cry out in alarm. Tao! Lotus, someone come quick! The door slams open. The maid's screams cut through the night. The room erupts into chaos. The wedding guests outside are startled awake. Lady Wang, wife of the Grand Chancellor, rushes over and stops dead when she sees me. Sitting on the bed in a wedding gown, wiping tears from my eyes, she sucks in a sharp breath and nearly faints. It is over. How could Lady Wang not recognize me? The eldest daughter of the Xia family, one of the most celebrated noble women in the capital, granddaughter of the imperial princess herself. She had glimpsed me once at a flower banquet, a face so striking there was no second like it in the entire city. Who could have imagined that a young lady of such status had been mistakenly married into her own household? Lady Wang had lived half her life and never heard of anything so absurd. Miss Xia, she says, I have already sent word to the Marquis's manor. We will have an answer soon. You have truly been wronged. Lady Wang sighs. While this hasn't blown up yet, we can still switch the marriage back. I spin around, eyes glistening with tears. Switch it back? In front of all those guests? We bowed at the altar, we entered the bridal chamber, and now you say we just switch it back? Just like that? Are you trying to destroy me? Before I even finish speaking, the tears spill over. Oh no, sweet child, please, don't cry. Lady Wang is so distressed she wants to slap herself. She rushes to soothe me. This is a terrible wrong, I know, but things are already the way they are. We have to find a way forward. The guests outside still know nothing. I thought, since it is just family in here, if we let you stay without a proper explanation, my conscience wouldn't allow it. The Marquise's manor will surely understand. I let out a cold laugh. I wipe my tears away. Understand? I choke out. If I go back to the Marquise's manor like this, my name dragged through the mud, people will tear me apart behind my back. I turn my face away, stubborn. If that is really how it must be, then send me back to the Xia family. I would rather spend my whole life in a nunnery than suffer this humiliation. What do you mean your name is dragged through the mud? I never touched you, Rex says flatly. I look up at him, a faint smirk on my lips. A man and a woman alone in a room together, and you say you never touched me? Who on earth would believe that? Rex lets out a laugh caught between fury and amusement. It has barely been any time at all. What do you think could have happened? I say nothing. I just watch him, my eyes saying it all, so this is the best you can do. Rex's face darkens. He is about to snap when Lady Wang smacks him hard. You useless wretch! Raising you is like raising a stubborn ox. You never cracked open a book. All you do is cause trouble out there. With a son like this, the Grand Chancellor can barely hold his head up in front of Earl Xia. Every word out of his mouth is an embarrassment. Earl Xia, though displeased inside, keeps his expression polite. He gives a quiet nod. Lord Lai, please do not trouble yourself. What is done is done. Words change nothing now. Since the vows were made with the Jiang family, I will not be sending my daughter to that household. The Earl of Jing'an may not rival the Marquis's manor in power, but we are still a family of standing. And with the imperial princess behind us, how could I let my daughter be treated this way? If word had not spread, we might have kept it quiet. But the entire hall of guests already knows. The girl who bowed at the altar with Lord Jiang was the second daughter of the minister's household, not mine. The two fathers work on finding a solution. Meanwhile, I sit perfectly composed in the bridal chamber. Miss Xia, Lady Wang was worried you might be hungry. She has had food prepared for you. Please, if anything is not to your taste, do say so. The nanny beside her bows as well, her tone particularly respectful. Thank you, Lady Wang and Nanny, for your kindness. I rise and walk calmly to the table. A maid serves my food. I sit perfectly upright, every movement the picture of a refined noblewoman. Not a single clink of chopsticks. The grace is almost unreal. Mid-meal, a servant arrives with a message. Miss Xia, the lord and your father are in the main hall. They request your presence. Nanny Chai leads the way. I tuck a loose strand of hair behind my ear and follow. The moment I step through the door of the main hall, Tao and Lotus come flying at me, eyes red and swollen, like two little rabbits charging forward. Their voices tremble. My lady, are you all right? These two girls have been by my side since childhood. They had come along cheerfully as part of my bridal party, only for the bride to be switched mid-journey. The shock had nearly broken them. Now that they see me, the tears pour down in an endless stream. They pat me all over, terrified I might be hurt. My heart twists. In my past life, they had followed me into the Marquis's manor. Those two girls suffered so much. That cruel mother-in-law beat and scolded them constantly. Whenever I made a mistake, they were the ones who paid for it. I squeeze their hands tightly and give a small, quiet shake of my head, letting them know I am fine. I turn and walk to the center of the hall, bowing gently to Earl Xia. Father! Then I turn to Lord Lai and bow. Grand Chancellor, please no formalities, Miss Xia. Lord Lai waves a hand. This matter rests entirely on what you wish. The Marquis of Ningyuan's people are waiting just outside. Without your word, I dare not release them. You had agreed to this match yourself. It seemed like a perfect union, and then the wedding turned into this disaster. Such misfortune. The Marquise's manor has been quite resourceful, offering apologies, increasing the betrothal gifts, but the young lord has already spent the wedding night with another. This scandal has spread across the city. There is no undoing it now. They are thinking, since you and your sister are close, that you could enter the household as a secondary wife. In name, you would still be lady of the manor. What do you think? Those few words turn my heart to ice. The Marquise's manor has the nerve to propose this? A secondary wife? Lady of the manor? What a joke! In front of everyone, my eyes turn red. My lashes tremble. But my back stays straight as an arrow. I drop to my knees with a thud. Father, your daughter refuses. Earl Shia's eyes shift. He signals a maid to help me up. Father, they are well matched. Why should I go where I am not wanted? Rex helped me out of the bridal sedan. We bowed at the altar together. If I go back to the Marquise's manor now, the gossip alone would drown me. They call it a secondary wife, but my reputation is already in ruins. I refuse to bear this humiliation, and I cannot let father and the Xia family become a laughingstock. Grand Chancellor Lai is a man of integrity and honor. Perhaps ending up in the Lai household is fate. Father, I ask you to take back the betrothal papers. Please approve this match. Your daughter is willing to be the Lai family's daughter-in-law, to serve her husband's parents with devotion. Father, I beg you. Every word lands with weight. Her expression firm, not a flicker of hesitation, every syllable sincere. Lord Lai is deeply moved. His lips tremble for a long moment. Miss Xia, such wisdom, such grace. This old man is truly in awe. Then he shoots a fierce glare at Rex and quietly grits his teeth. Only this son of mine is truly hopeless. I fear he will be a disappointment to you. I press my lips together. I glance over at Rex. He hasn't said a word, but his fists are clenched, and the corners of his mouth curl into the faintest smile. Looks can be deceiving. Grand Chancellor, how do you know your son isn't someone who would cherish his wife? I ask softly. That one question leaves Lord Lai speechless. Rex, who has been standing there frozen, suddenly lights up. He stares at me, not even trying to hide it. Hearing my decision, Earl Xia feels both relieved and uneasy. Being the Lai family's daughter-in-law is not as glamorous as being lady of the Marquise's manor, but the Grand Chancellor stands at the Emperor's side. He holds real power. No one dares cross him lightly. The family rank may fall short of the Marquise's manor, but at least no one would dare bully her here. If you have thought it through, then father is at ease. As for the Marquise's manor, let that match go. This way, both families keep their dignity. You had a long day. Go rest. Tomorrow morning, I will send someone to transfer the betrothal papers and dowry. I must trouble the Grand Chancellor to handle the details. Lord Lai agrees readily, and personally walks Earl Xia to the gate. No one is happier right now than Lady Wang. To have stumbled into such a perfect daughter-in-law out of nowhere, she feels like the Lai ancestors must be smiling down on them. She thinks back to when Rex was first betrothed to the Lin family. They were looked down on left and right. People sneered that her son was not good enough. And now, look at this. What a difference. The words I spoke in the main hall defending the Lai family reach Lady Wang's ears, and her heart is already blooming with joy. After all, what mother does not love her son? Sure, her boy is a handful, but he has always been loyal to family. Sure, he acts on impulse, but when it comes to a fight, the whole Lai household combined could not beat him. Today's mess must have frightened the girl terribly. Quickly, prepare a bowl of milk pudding and bring it to her, to calm her nerves. Listen to me. I should be calling her my third daughter-in-law now. She laughs. Let her drink it and get some rest. Whatever comes next can wait until tomorrow. Oh, and go fetch that good-for-nothing Rex. Nanny Chai answers at once with a bright, "Yes, my lady." Rex has just stepped into the courtyard, already knowing in his gut clear as daylight that his mother wants him for exactly this reason. When I was carrying you, I had your fortune told. They said you were a blessed child. Look, a wife has delivered herself right to your door. Rex presses his lips into a flat line, clearly unimpressed. That has nothing to do with anything. Lady Wang smacks his arm. Stop playing the victim after winning. The Lai family did not get to where we are easily. Your two brothers' wives are nowhere near as good a match as yours. Count your blessings. That girl from the Xia family is gentle and refined. She comes from a duke's household. She was raised personally by the imperial princess. You could search the whole kingdom with a lantern and never find a better match than this. So rein in that rotten temper of yours. If you drive her away the moment she comes to complain, I will have your father deal with you using family discipline. Rex laughs in spite of himself, jaw tight. In every other family, it is the mother-in-law who sets the rules for the daughter-in-law. How is it that you are always taking the other side and lecturing your own son? If you were half as easy as your brothers, would I need to worry this much? Rex turns his head away and lets out a grunt. He has heard this so many times his ears have grown thick with it. Seeing that he is impossible to reason with, Lady Wang goes on pleading and persuading for a long while, until Rex grudgingly agrees to the marriage. Only then does she let it go. A mother knows her son best. This boy may be wild, but he is loyal. Once he gives his word, he never takes it back. He would not mistreat the girl. Satisfied, Lady Wang lets him go, but Rex has barely stepped out the door when a sudden commotion erupts outside. Nanny Chai comes running in, flustered. "My lady, it is bad news. The heir of the Marquis of Ningyuan is causing a scene at the gate, shouting that he must see Miss Xia. Was this not already settled? It is the middle of the night. What has gotten into that young lord?" Lady Wang turns to look at her son and springs to her feet. Has the lord been told? Nanny Chai Lai nods urgently. Already, my lady, but the young lord is asking for her by name. He insists on seeing Miss Xia and no one else. Send someone to let Miss Xia know what is happening. Whether she sees him is entirely her choice. If she does not give her consent, not even the King of Heaven gets through our gate. That is your lawfully wedded wife in there. Go to the front with your father and hold the line. See what that Lord Jiang is actually after. Rex answers with a nod and charges out at full speed. He is fast on his feet. By the time he reaches the front courtyard, his father is only just ambling out. Father and son exchange a glance, say nothing, and head toward the gate together. There stands Lord Jiang, dressed far too lightly for the night, his face ghostly pale. I want to see Ji. Lord Jiang's hair is a mess. He has only a horse with him, his clothes all rumpled. He looks every bit like a man who has come to steal the bride. Could there actually be something between this lord and Zoe? Rex turns it over in his mind, his expression unreadable. What do you think you are doing? The marriage between both families is already settled. Your manor just took in a new bride, and within a few hours you are here at our gate in the dead of night, making a scene. What kind of behavior is this? Lord Jiang's face is cold. His voice carries no warmth whatsoever. I never agreed to the switch. Grand Chancellor, save your breath. I only need to hear it from her. Rex's jaw clenches so hard it could crack. The fury surges straight to the top of his head. He is about to explode, then he hears footsteps behind him. He turns, and there I am walking toward them. The moment Lord Jiang sees me, the deadness in his eyes vanishes in an instant. A strange, unshakable confidence settles over his face. In his mind, I am still that foolish girl who bent to his every wish, who put him first in everything, whose whole world was only him. A girl who could never marry anyone else. Lord Jiang stands tall with total confidence, eyes locked on me. I am here to take you home. His tone is casual, laced with arrogance, as if he is doing me some enormous favor. My chest tightens. I meet his eyes without flinching, and in that instant, memories from my past life come flooding back like a broken dam. I remember when my grandmother was gravely ill. I had begged him, humbling myself, to accompany me back to my family, just so my family would think I was happy in the manner that my husband cared for me. But Lord Jiang had coldly scolded me for being unreasonable, said I was putting on a show in front of my family. Every cold word he spoke was soaked in contempt. I forced down the disgust rising inside me and look at him calmly. Lord Jiang, do not joke with me. I now belong to the Lai family, in life and in death. This is my home. The marriage between us is finished. Please conduct yourself with dignity. Lord Jiang's eyes fly open wide. Pure disbelief and fury burn in his gaze. How dare she speak to him like this? Since when did this gentle, obedient woman ever talk back to him? Lord Jiang fights to hold down his rage. His expression turns dark and frightening. He is about to speak, but I suddenly go rigid, as if struck by lightning. Could this trash of a man also? Lord Jiang's face is blank. He forces his fury back down. He reminds himself he has no knowledge of her past life. He needs to be patient. Lord Jiang draws a slow breath. The wrong bride situation? Yes, it truly happened, but I have already persuaded my parents to take you as a secondary wife. The title of Lady of the Manor is still yours. Is that not everything you ever wanted? Lord Jiang's eyes go cold. He fixes his gaze on me. Ji, my patience has limits. Stop playing games. You can only be mine. I have had enough. I step forward and look at him with ice in my eyes. Even in the kingdom of Dan, no noble has the right to seize a woman by force. Does the Jiang family think it rules the world? I have already bowed at the altar. Am I supposed to follow you just because you say so? Where is the logic in that? Who wants your title anyway? The daughters of the Xia family have not fallen so low as to be pushed around. Our marriage is done, Lord Jiang. Please stop making a scene. I turn around. Father-in-law, my husband, if anyone continues to slander my name, I ask father-in-law to stand up for me. And please, husband, show him out. With that, I turn and walk back inside. Rex hears me call him husband, and something jolts in his chest. He strides forward and steps in front of me, shielding me. His tall frame makes Lord Jiang look even smaller. Rex has never had a gentle temperament to begin with. A corner of his mouth lifts. Lord Jiang, you have seen her, you have heard her. Anything else? No. Then get out. Rex's face is dark, his brow radiating raw menace. Lord Jiang presses his lips tight. A lord of his standing. When has he ever been treated like this? He never imagined that the soft, delicate girl he remembered could have such a sharp tongue. He clearly remembers, in his past life, the first time Zoe laid eyes on him, she had given him her whole heart. Lord Jiang cannot figure out where everything went wrong. He can only blame the chaos of the wrong bride situation. How did she end up in the wrong bridal sedan? I was out of line today. Tomorrow I will come with my elders to offer a proper apology. Lord Jiang buries his fury, bows respectfully to Lord Lai, and does not even bother to glance at Rex before mounting his horse and riding off. Rex turns away in disgust. Is this man out of his mind? Watch your mouth. I just never heard of any connection between Lord Jiang and the Xia family. But looking at tonight, it seems he has real feelings for your wife. Who cares how deep his feelings run? Did you not hear? Your daughter-in-law called you father-in-law without missing a beat, and called me husband. That makes it clear she wants nothing to do with him. Rex says this with unmistakable pride. Lord Jiang is one of the most celebrated young lords in the capital, the dream of many noble daughters. Rex lets out a grunt. So what? He's still lost to me. Lord Lai sees right through his son. If not for this accident, and if not for Zoe choosing to do the right thing, how would that title of husband have ever fallen to you? Father and son part on poor terms. Rex walks back to be in pavilion, fists clenched, head down. He steps through the door, and only then does it hit him. Tonight is his wedding night. The red wedding characters on the window glow bright. The faint murmur of voices fills the courtyard that has always been so still and cold. Lotus steps out carrying a basin of water and nearly jumps out of her skin at the sight of Rex. She recovers and bows quickly. Master Rex, my lady is still getting cleaned up. Rex gives a vague response, hesitates. then turns and walks into the side room. Lotus stares wide-eyed at his retreating figure, panicked and completely at a loss, and rushes back inside with the basin. Tao is helping me remove the hairpins and jewelry from my hair. Lotus bursts in. My lady, I just saw Master Rex, but he actually went to the side room. He did not even enter the bridal chamber. What are we supposed to do? My hand pauses on the comb. I think for a moment. This marriage was rushed to begin with. It makes sense that he feels unsure. I am exhausted today too. I do not want to make things more complicated. Let us leave it for now. Besides, with only the two of you here, I am not at ease either. Once the dowry arrives tomorrow and we formally greet his parents, we can sort everything else out then. Tao and Lotus think it over and agree she has a point. They ache for their lady, but as long as she is at peace, that is enough. That night, I cannot sleep. Dreams of childhood, galloping on horseback, carefree and laughing. Dreams of the joy I felt arriving at the Marquise's manor as a new bride. And then the nightmares. Deep in the manor's dark walls, faces twisting into monsters, baring their teeth and claws, reaching to drag me back. I jolt awake, heart hammering. A sliver of light filters through the window. The red wedding quilt beneath me is still so vivid it hurts to look at. I let out a long, slow breath. Tao, keeping watch through the night, hears me stir and calls softly from outside the door. My lady, are you awake? I sit up slowly. What time is it? Tao comes in to help. You are up so early today, my lady. It is not yet just before sunrise. Tao helps me to my feet and brings a cup of tea. Did you not sleep well? I shake my head without a word and take small sips of water to soothe my dry throat. Seeing how early it still is, I do not bother getting fully dressed up. I walk straight out the door. Morning light breaks through the clouds and the tension in my brow quietly lifts. My past life feels like a dream, vivid, yet impossibly far away. I am lost in the clouds when Rex comes striding toward me in training clothes, a fitted short jacket, sweat beading on his forehead. Every line of him is hard and defined, sharp brows, fierce eyes, a presence that commands the air. I have never dealt with someone like this before. The moment Rex draws near, the atmosphere around him shifts. Impossible to ignore. I silently say a little prayer, bow my head, and call out softly, Lord Rex. Rex looks me over from head to toe, then glances down at his own clothes. He thinks for a moment, then turns and goes back into the side room without a word. When he emerges again, he is changed into a deep crimson silk robe, a black knotted sash at his waist, his messy hair now gathered neatly under a jade crown. Only then does he stride back over, head high. And it is not just me, even Tao and Lotus are staring. The two girls go red and whisper between themselves. Our new Master Rex is actually stunning when he cleans up. And honestly, Rex really is something to look at. Handsome and striking at first glance, without a scholar's polish, but with a man's raw energy. A real sight. I drag my eyes away from this total peacock, give Lotus a quiet instruction, and head back inside to get ready. But Rex's gaze follows me all the way through the door, those eyes of his unfathomable. No telling what is going on inside. Rex sits at the table, something nagging at him. Something is off. Last night she was calling him husband so sweetly, and today it is Lord Rex? He looks down at his silk robe again. What could possibly be wrong with it? By the time I finish getting ready and step out, breakfast is already on the table. I have barely sat down when I see Rex pick up his bowl and eat in huge, rapid mouthfuls. I freeze. My eyes go wide. He must sense me staring because he raises an eyebrow without a care. I do not stand on ceremony here. Eat however you like. I sit stiffly beside him, not touching my chopsticks, holding everything in, until he finally sets down his bowl. Then I speak. Lord Rex, good food deserves to be savored. The cook put real effort into this. Is eating like that not a little disrespectful? Rex laughs, casual, light, and looks up at me, telling me this is pointless. I am just a rough sort. No book learning. If my eating bothers you, we can eat separately from now on. Rex wipes his mouth with a cloth, so you can actually enjoy your meal. Thank you, Lord Rex. I lower my head, the picture of gentle obedience. Rex presses his lips together, face dark, and storms off with a flick of his sleeve. Tao and Lotus look at each other, then at the wrecked table, seething. Their hearts break for their lady. They rush over. My lady, please do not be upset. The Lai family is an educated household. How did they raise such a rough Master Rex? How dare you? Say one more word against your master behind his back and you can slap your own mouth. Lotus goes pale instantly. This servant has spoken out of turn. This servant is sorry. Tao shoots her a look, then steps forward to reason with me. Master Rex is a military man. He is probably just used to being casual. My lady, do not let this create distance between you. Once you know each other better, you can gently guide him. After all, this is a home, not a military camp. Taking your time at the table brings out the flavor. I say nothing, unsure whether any of it got through. I simply have breakfast reset and eat a few bites before stepping out of Biyun Pavilion. But the moment I walk through the gate, I find Rex standing there with his back to me, waiting. Tao and Lotus are stunned, speechless. So am I. I was sure I had offended him. Rex glances back at me. Let's go. My parents are waiting. He turns and leads the way. Lotus leans close to Tao's ear. Master Rex looks fierce, but he is actually quite thoughtful. I was worried my lady would be talked about if she went alone. That is not what you were saying just a moment ago. I was just worried about my lady, that is all. I glance sideways at the two of them. Tao and Lotus fall silent at once. The walk to the main hall is not long, but I move slowly, and it still takes a while. Who would have thought Rex would patiently walk alongside me the whole way? Nothing like the family disaster his father made him out to be. The moment we enter enter the main hall, his parents are already seated in the places of honor. On either side sit his two brothers, Lai Xian and his wife Clara, Lai Qing and his wife Petra, and the youngest of the Lai family, Nina, just 14 years old. Clara has a son and a daughter, both already in school. Petra had just given birth to a baby girl, still wrapped in swaddling cloth. I had already gathered all this information about the Lai household the night before, so seeing them now holds no surprises. What is curious is that the entire Lai family cannot stop staring at me. The daughter-in-law who arrived out of nowhere. Every pair of eyes in the room settles on me, setting everyone else aside. The moment Nina lays eyes on me, her jaw drops. Standing beside Rex, just on looks alone, we make a striking pair. But the whole family knows exactly what Rex is like, so their eyes stay fixed on me, delicate and lovely beside him. And every single one of them is thinking the same thing. Such a beautiful flower. How did it end up in a pile of dirt? Even steady, composed Lai Xian winces with something like pity, and Lai Qing stares at his younger brother with open suspicion, wondering what trick Rex pulled to get her to marry him. Rex squints. What are all these looks for? I pay the room no mind. With a quiet smile, I step forward and bow respectfully to both elders. Your daughter-in-law greets father-in-law and mother. Good child. Please rise. Lady Wang watches me. So poised, so proper, and her eyes crinkle into crescents, her heart nearly melting. In all her years, she had only one daughter, who from childhood had always been glued to Rex's side, raised with all the habits of a boy. She was charming enough as a child, but the older she got, the more it felt like she was born into the wrong body. Clara, the eldest daughter-in-law, was obedient enough, but far too rigid, too cautious, and childbirth had taken a toll on her health. She had been frail for years. Petra was lively and direct, but her world was too small. All her thoughts circled around Lai Qing, and she watched the maids around her like a hawk guarding a treasury. That kind of smallness never belonged in a great household. Lady Wang had expected nothing from Rex's marriage. She had only hoped the two of them would get along quietly, and yet heaven itself had delivered the most coveted young lady in the capital to her doorstep. That figure, that grace, that smile, this was exactly how she had once dreamed of raising her own daughter. Somewhere along the way, things just went wrong. I pick up the teacup and step forward, kneeling before Lord Lai, offering the cup with both hands and saying softly, "Father-in-law, please have some tea." "You have been wrong, child. If that reckless boy of mine ever dares mistreat you, come tell me at once." Seeing such a thoughtful daughter-in-law, his heart is pulled in two directions, nodded with shame at his son's behavior, yet warm with gladness that this daughter-in-law has such a clear head and is truly someone to cherish. Once Lord Lai finishes his tea, I rise and turn to Lady Wang, bowing again. "Mother, please have some tea." Lady Wang beams so wide she can barely close her mouth. She takes the cup eagerly, takes a small sip, and holds my hand warmly. "From now on, think of this as your own home. If anything feels uncomfortable, just say so. Mother will make it right." Lady Wang continues, still smiling. "In my room there is some shoe silk, a gift from the Emperor. Not much of it, but today is a happy day. I am bringing it all out and dividing it into 3 portions. Our new daughter-in-law has just arrived. She gets an extra portion. You two would not mind such a small thing, would you?" Lady Wang glances over, her eyes moving between Clara and Petra. Clara speaks up gently. "Mother, you flatter us. Someone as wonderful as Zoe deserves nothing but the best. I have a pair of green jade earrings. I would like to give them to Zoe. A master recently told me green suits my complexion, so they would be perfect on Zoe. Even though it is only the 8th month, we can start preparing winter clothes. Last year, my family sent over some white fox fur. I still have extra. Zoe, take it and have a fur collar made. That snow white color will suit you perfectly." Both Clara and Petra have spoken their piece. Lady Wang is satisfied. They both know perfectly well. They only get any of this because of me. Everyone in this household knows how Lady Wang treasures that shoe silk. Even when her own daughter, Nina, asked for some, she never once gave in. The moment I step through the door, Lady Wang brings out her treasures to divide among us. She is sending a clear message to everyone. I, the 3rd daughter-in-law, have married beneath myself. The sisters-in-law had better treat me well. I rise gracefully, thank Clara and Petra, greet both brothers-in-law, and finally Nina steps forward to bow. She calls out, "Sister Zoe!" in her bright, sweet voice. And just then, a servant rushes in with a report. The Ningyuan Marquis estate has sent people again. Lady Wang's fury finally reaches its limit. This estate has shown up to cause trouble time and time again. Anyone would have had enough. Last night's scene was bad enough. Lady Wang knows it well. She nearly threw them out herself. It is clear that Ian Zhang and I share absolutely no feelings. A family with any shame would never come back. Yet even after the tea ceremony is done, the Ningyuan Marquis estate dares to show up and try to take me. Even the most patient person has a breaking point. Lady Wang walks to the front courtyard, her face stone cold. Lady Lu, who is normally so full of herself, stands there looking utterly embarrassed. Her expression is full of helpless frustration. When she sees Lady Wang appear, she quickly plasters on a smile. "I can hardly accept such courtesy from the lady of the Ningyuan Marquis estate. Yesterday's matter is settled. Our two families have never been close. What brings you to our door so early in the morning?" Lady Wang has no patience for games. She does not even bother with polite pretense. Now, what kind of talk is that?" Lady Lu walks straight into a wall of cold rejection. The great lady of the Marquis estate has lost all her dignity. Who would ever dare to dismiss her like this? Yet here she stands, looked at with open disdain. Lady Lu is so furious she nearly spins around and leaves, but one glance at Ian Zhang beside her, and the anger gets swallowed back down. Lady Lu hides behind her handkerchief and forces out a smile. She turns to Lady Wang. "In this capital, only a handful of families truly matter. You are the wife of the Grand Chancellor. Unlike those of us who live off our ancestors' glory, the kingdom of Da'an depends on people like you." Lady Lu flatters me too much. Lady Wang says with a smile that does not reach her eyes, glancing at the tea leaves. My husband comes from a common family. We cannot compare to your noble standing. Speak plainly. Lady Lu lets out a hollow laugh and forces herself to continue. It is about the marriage between our families. Last night's events were sudden, but the betrothal papers were signed long ago. My son and Miss Xia are deeply fond of each other. I am only here to ask what Miss Xia finds unsatisfactory. Our estate has agreed to offer her the position of secondary wife, with the full title of the heir's lady. Is that not enough? Lady Lu's tone is exactly like Ian Jiang's yesterday. People like this believe down to their bones that they are superior to everyone else. Even when they lower themselves, there is not a shred of sincerity. Lady Wang listens, growing more and more uncomfortable. She sets her teacup down with a sharp crack and straightens her back. Lady Lu, you are quite the uninvited. Yesterday's matter has already been resolved. The Xia family has called off the engagement. The eldest Miss Xia has already wed my son in a proper ceremony. They share their wedding night. And this very morning she has served the tea. The eldest Miss Xia is now my daughter-in-law of the Lai family. Impossible. Lady Lu's face drains white in an instant. How could she share a wedding night with someone else? She is my wife. The moment Ian Jiang finishes speaking, Lady Lu's expression shifts violently, and she grabs him by the arm. What on earth are you saying? Ian Jiang yanks himself free. He glares through gritted teeth. Do not try to fool me with this. I do not believe a single word. Lady Lu glances at Lady Wang's dark expression, then back at Ian Jiang, who looks half out of his mind. Her temples throb. She grabs him firmly. Do not be rude. This is not our estate. Remember who you are. Ian Jiang draws a long breath, forces down his rage, and bows to Lady Wang. Lady Wang, please forgive me. I lost my composure. The moment those words land, Mia Lin drops to her knees with a thud, her face full of desperation and grief. It was my foolishness. I boarded the wrong bridal sedan. Mia Lin bites her lip, eyes swimming with tears. I only asked for the position of secondary wife. I would never compete with Zoe for the title of the heir's lady. We can still be the best of sisters. Lady Wang is caught off guard. She had not taken Mia Lin seriously before, but now she cannot help but reassess her. Just at that moment, my voice carries in from outside. If you have something to say it to me. What do you think you are doing, kneeling before my mother-in-law? The next moment, Rex and I walk in together. I look at no one else. I go straight to mother and curtsy. Forgive me for letting you be troubled. It is this daughter-in-law's fault. The instant Lady Wang sees me, the shadow lifts from her face. I help mother to her seat, then turn a cold gaze on the uninvited guests. When my father arranged this match, he valued the Marquis estate for its rules and propriety. Looking at you now, a so-called great house is worth no more than this, rushing over to steal another family's wedded wife. Is this the conduct of the Ningyuan Marquis estate? You pounded on our gate in the dead of night, and now you show up with your new woman. I would very much like to know. Who exactly are you bowing to? The marriage documents have been exchanged. What is done is done. I have no reason, having married into the Lai family, to ever walk through the gates of the Ningyuan Marquis estate again. Lady Lu's behavior is disgusting. Lord Ian's words are even worse. If the Ningyuan Marquis estate dares to harass us again, we will take this to the Ministry of Rights and let His Majesty decide whether a Marquis estate may forcibly seize another man's wife. These words leave Lady Lu's face burning red. She cannot say a single word. Her lips tremble as she turns to Ian Jiang. You came here last night. Ian Jiang does not even look at her. His reddened eyes are fixed hard on me. You shared a wedding night with him? How could you betray me? I almost laugh. Lord Ian, you and I have had no connection for a long time. Where does betrayal come into this? Or does your estate enjoy making false accusations? Ian Jiang stares at me in disbelief. How did you become like this? I give a cold laugh. Every word cuts deep. What kind of person I am is none of Lord Ian's concern. We were never close. Mia Lin suddenly steps forward, eyes brimming with tears. Are you blaming me? I do not know how it came to this either. If I could do it over, I would. But everyone in the capital knows this was a wrong bride situation. She covers her face and weeps, performing the most pitiful act. We have been friends, and if you want the title of the heir's lady, just say the word. What a performance. Playing the devoted sister. I watch her with cold eyes, not a flicker of emotion, as if watching a clown put on a show. I have said this many times already. I hold her gaze, my voice perfectly flat. I speak slowly and clearly. Since heaven itself arranged this fate, the title of the heir's lady naturally belongs to you, Mia. We both burned incense at that altar. Heaven granted your wish, so why perform for me today? I have already entered the Lai family. I cannot be a lady of the Jiang family. Looking at these false faces before me, I have no more patience. I draw a slow breath and turn to Rex. Husband, please see the guests out on mother's behalf. Then I pivot, delivering my final word. Please also tell Lord Ian that before the day is out, the Ningyuan Marquis estate must return my entire dowry. I press my lips together and give Lady Lu a smile that is almost a smile. Surely Lady Lu would not want to keep my dowry to furnish things for your new daughter-in-law. Sure enough. Those words ignite the fuse. Word has it that Lady Lu explodes the moment she steps outside the Lai family gate, jabbing her finger at Ian Jiang and tearing into him without mercy, declaring she has never in her life suffered such humiliation. It turns out Ian Jiang had beaten his chest at his mother that very morning, swearing I am devoted to him alone, and that if she came in person, I would surely change my mind. But after I humiliated him in front of everyone, Ian Jiang still refuses to give up. He actually wants to see me again, alone. Even his own mother, Lady Lu, thinks he has lost his mind. She inhales sharply and refuses to let him act out again. plan. She drags her foolish son back to the estate by force. But it is not over. Right after, people from my family's Earl of Jing'an estate march straight to the Marquis estate, tear into them without a word of warning, and haul back every single piece of my dowry. The Ningyuan Marquis estate has now lost every shred of face. The estate's matriarch immediately summons Lady Lu, who falls to her knees in tears the moment she enters, but the matriarch slams her cane down hard. At your age, still carrying on like this! With that, she strips Lady Lu of all household authority and sentences her to kneel in the prayer hall for half a month. Lady Lu goes pale with fright, sobbing and begging. What will the new bride think of her? The matriarch ignores every word, forcing Lady Lu to crawl on her knees across the floor, kowtowing until her hair comes completely undone. Only then does the old woman's fury ease a little. Lady Lu's forehead is swollen and red, her hair a tangled mess. Who could have imagined that on the very first day of the new bride's arrival, Lady Lu would suffer such a devastating loss? She dares not blame the matriarch, so she turns all her rage onto Mia Lin, calling her a curse on the family and insisting that her son and I were made for each other before this vile girl ruined everything. Truly ridiculous. Meanwhile, my side of the story could not be more different. The Earl of Jing'an estate sends my entire dowry over in a grand procession. Word has it that Rex leans against the doorframe, watching for well over an hour as piece after piece of dowry is carried in, nearly filling all of Biyun Pavilion. But none of these material things matter most. What matters is that among the crowd, I spot Nanny Du, who has looked after me since I was small. In that moment, tears nearly spill down my face. I call out to her in a choked voice. Miss Jia, please, you must not call me that. Nanny Du's eyes go red in an instant. She quickly bows. I turn away fast, fighting hard against the ache inside. In my past life, Nanny Du died protecting me, beaten to death inside the Ningyan Marquis estate. Seeing her now, how could my heart not feel like it is being torn apart? Nanny Du has no idea what is churning inside me. She simply asks in a soft voice, "Are the Lai family treating you well? Has anyone made things difficult for you, Miss Jia?" I nod quickly, forcing a smile. Everything is fine. The Lai family are scholars. They treat people with great warmth. Nanny Du goes on to ask, "And Master Rex, how does he treat you?" That question happens to reach Nina standing just outside the door, and her curiosity is piqued. I am not sure how to answer. After a long pause, I speak quietly. Lord Rex may not be as distinguished as father or his brothers, but he has his own character and sense of responsibility. All I want is for this family to live in peace. If he can go through his life without disaster or harm, that is enough. The moment I think that, a sharp pain hits my chest. In my past life, Rex died so young on the battlefield. Rex, who fell in battle before his time. The man the world once looked down on, who became the pride of the kingdom of Dan, and never came home. I lift my eyes to Nanny Du and speak the most honest words I have. Lord Rex is a good man, better than most people in this world. Oh, what I do not expect is that those words freeze Rex right there in the doorway, as if the strength has been drained from his body. He stands still for a long moment. Then, in the next breath, he strolls in as if nothing happened, his dark eyes locked straight on me, until heat rises to my cheeks. I turn away. "Why so quiet, Lord Rex?" He casually settles down right beside me, the corner of his mouth lifting with amusement. "You two, you and Nanny Du, are so close I did not want to interrupt." Then his tone shifts and his gaze turns serious. "Did you mean what you just said?" I glance at him and say nothing. He smiles anyway. Silence means yes. He leans back against the chair and his tone eases considerably. "Well then, if you are truly happy with me, that is the best news I could hear." But what he says next catches me completely off guard. "Biyun Pavilion is too small. You deserve better. Tomorrow I will knock down the west wall and bring the garden next door in for you." What? Before I can even recover, he is already the kind of man who acts before I can object. It is decided. Just like that. The next day, the wall actually comes down. Tao and Lotus stand there with their mouths open. But what comes next is even more shocking. Rex actually changes into worn work clothes and gets in there himself, hauling bricks and sand. The son of the Grand Chancellor's family is doing the work of a common laborer. I take one look and go straight back inside. It feels beneath him. But the moment I am back inside, I hear that to keep his brothers and sisters-in-law from gossiping, he is paying for the entire expansion out of his own private savings. Not a single coin from the household. Something stirs deep inside me. Tao, ask Nanny Du to go to the small kitchen and every afternoon send Lord Rex a bowl of hot soup and some snacks. When that steaming bowl of noodle soup is placed before Rex, he goes completely still. The cook grins from ear to ear. The third mistress arranged this herself. "She was worried you might wear yourself out, Lord Rex." Rex raises an eyebrow, and something lights up in his eyes. He washes his hands right away and digs in with enthusiasm, drinking every last drop of the broth. The cook adds with a smile, "The third mistress wanted to add more to your meal. She paid for it, out of her own pocket." Rex wipes his mouth and suddenly turns to look toward my room. A smile plays at his lips, and when he turns back to work, there is new energy in every move he makes. Inside my room, I am sorting through my jewelry cases and accessories. The room is beautifully arranged now, and everything seems to be moving in the right direction. Once the room is fully settled, my eyes land on several crates of antiques and scroll paintings. "Miss Jia, should I hang these paintings?" I shake my head. "Pack them all away. These old things have no place in my new life." But when Lotus opens another trunk, she runs into a problem. "Miss Jia, where do we put Master Rex's clothes?" Without looking up, I flip through a book and wave vaguely. "Clear out a space." Then I make up my mind. Tomorrow I will send for the household manager. I need a writing desk in this room, a corner that is entirely my own. But before the desk even arrives, Lady Wang herself comes over with a full group of servants. 8 maids and housekeepers standing in a neat row for me to choose from. I ask Mother to help me pick 4, and she does not stay long. But when she hears I have been sending Rex soup, her smile grows even warmer. On her way out, she quietly has a full box of hairpins and jewelry sent to me. This sudden show of favor catches me off guard. I want to share my happiness with Rex, but he never comes back for dinner. I send someone to check, and then it hits me. He had already said long ago that we would eat separately. Should we wait for Master Rex? I press my lips together and lower my eyes. A chill brushes through me. No, do not wait. In my past life, I endured more than enough. This time around, I refuse to endure a single day more. I have barely finished dinner when the nanny from the courtyard comes with a message. Lord Rex is exhausted today. He has already gone to sleep in the side room. Hearing that, I quietly breathe a sigh of relief. The next morning, I sleep in for once. When I wake, I rush to get ready, meaning to pay my morning greetings to Mother. But the moment I step outside, I walk straight into Rex. He takes in my dressed appearance with surprise. Where are you off to? To pay my morning greetings to Mother, of course. Don't bother Mother, she may not even be up yet. What? He sees my look of disbelief and goes on. Our family doesn't go in for those empty formalities. Unless Mother calls for you, morning greetings are not required. Clara and Petra are the same way. If you have nothing to do, tend to your own shops. Seeing I still do not believe him, he sighs with a helpless air. All right then, go see for yourself. One look will tell you. Half convinced, I make my way to the main courtyard. What I see stops me cold. Mother has indeed only just woken up, and the entire courtyard is empty of Clara and Petra. When she spots me, she immediately waves me over with a smile. You are so early! Come sit with me for breakfast. We are family now, so relax. Our household does not stand on ceremony. There is no need to come every day for morning greetings. It would only tire you out. As long as you and Rex get along well, that matters more than anything. As for children, there is no rush at all. You are still young. Waiting a couple more years is perfectly fine. When a husband and wife are truly happy together, that is when a child brings real joy. Those few simple words stir something enormous inside me. I am momentarily lost. Thinking back to my past life, Lady Lou summoned me daily for lectures, every word revolving around the Marquise estate's rules, every sentence pressuring me to produce an heir. She demanded I pour everything into pleasing my husband, demanded I help her secure Lord Ian's position. Never once did she show a shred of kindness. And yet now, Lady Wang knows perfectly well that Rex and I have not yet shared a wedding night. And not only does she not blame me, she offers gentle comfort instead. A mother-in-law this reasonable. In my past life, was I truly blind to have thought this marriage was beneath me? Just then, Lady Wang notices I have gone quiet, and she panics. She sees my reddened eyes and quickly asks, "What is wrong? Did I say something wrong, or has Rex upset you?" I hold back my tears and look up, pushing out a smile. Your daughter-in-law is simply too happy to have married into the Lai family and found such a wonderful mother. Even just for your sake and father's, I want to build a good life with Rex. Lady Wang exhales with deep relief. What is so wonderful about me? Stop crying now. Your smile is so much lovelier. Those words make my face burn with warmth. Thankfully, breakfast arrives just then. But what is on the table stops me again. There are no lavish delicacies, just 3 or 4 small side dishes and a bowl of plain rice porridge, no different from an ordinary household. I am used to simple food myself. If this does not suit you, I can have the kitchen make something else. Oh, no thank you, Mother. I am perfectly used to this. In the prayer hall of the Marcus estate, I ate cold rice and cold dishes. I long since learned not to mind. Then Lady Wang adds a whole basket of freshly steamed buns and says cheerfully that when she has a free day, she will make them by hand for us to try. After breakfast, Lady Wang is discussing the bride's return visit with me when Clara arrives with her 2 children. Hank, the eldest, is 8 years old, and Luna, the second, is 6. Both children look at me with curious eyes, then step forward politely and bow. Greetings, Aunt Zoe. Such well-mannered children, and so adorable. Clara beams with pride, but does not linger. She exchanges a quick greeting and hurries off to take them to class. That is when I learned just how strict the Lai family's values are. Lai Cheyenne serves at the Imperial Censorate, with a future full of promise. Lai Qing did not take first place in the Imperial exams, but he earned second, and is now Deputy Director of the Imperial Academy. Lord Lai has raised both his sons with great distinction, and yet when it comes to my husband Rex, everything changes. He refuses to walk the road paved with opportunity that his father and brothers laid out for him. He abandons his studies to train in the arts of war and join the military. That year, the Lai household was in an uproar. Lord Lai was so furious he broke 2 disciplinary canes, but instead of turning Rex around, it only drove father and son further apart. In the end, Lady Wang stepped in to mediate, and Lord Lai reluctantly gave in. Still, Rex's years of training were not wasted. Every master who taught him said he was exceptional. But that boy is stubborn as a mule. A position at the Ministry of War, most men would give anything for it, and he turns his nose up at it. Instead, he insists on going to some training battalion. A young man with not a single merit to his name, and he talks of training troops for His Majesty. How could your father-in-law not be furious? This has been going on for over half a year. Lord Lai has been hoping Rex would settle down and start a family, and what does Rex do? He sabotages 3 matches in a row. Take the Lin family arrangement. Lord Lai had to promise Rex a place in the patrol battalion just to get his agreement. If that boy had known he was marrying you, would he ever have let it fall through? Hearing that, my face goes red. Walking out of Lady Wang's courtyard, I finally feel a long-lost sense of freedom. I have escaped the disaster that was the Ningyuan Marquise estate, and even my steps feel lighter than they have in a long time. Before long, the day of the bride's return visit arrives. Rex has actually set aside his training clothes for once and stands in the courtyard at dawn reviewing the gift list, even adding a few items of his own. He walks into my room. Tell me about your family. I don't want to confuse anyone when we get there. I only have one younger brother, 11 years old. My mother lost lost her hearing years ago in an accident and rarely goes out. The household is managed by a concubine now. Thankfully, our grandmother, the Imperial Princess, watches over my brother and me, and that keeps anyone from daring to bully us. Rex listens with great care. He has even prepared a gift specifically for my brother. Seeing how thoughtful he is, I suddenly think of my past life's return visit. Ian Jiang had completely forgotten, and I had prepared every gift myself. My mother does not talk much. Lord Rex, if you find it awkward, you do not have to see her. How could I not meet my mother-in-law? I find myself at a loss for words. Just then the carriage slows to a stop. Tao's voice comes from outside. Miss Xia, Master Rex, the Ningyuan Marquis carriage is ahead. They are making their return visit today too. That news makes my brow furrow, and something unpleasant stirs inside me. Let them go first. I am not about to let them ruin such a good day. We will cross paths sooner or later. There is no need to rush. But as the Ningyuan Marquis carriage pulls alongside ours, the curtain is suddenly thrown open, and it is Ian Jiang's face. His eyes are urgent, searching, but when he finds nothing stirring on my side, disappointment fills his gaze. Lotus has no patience for him whatsoever. She plants herself in front of the carriage with her hands on her hips and glares at the other side. Are you moving or not? If not, get out of the way! You are blocking the road! Lord Ian, your father is waiting! Ian Jiang shoves her hand away, impatiently drops the curtain, and says two cold words. Move on! Once their carriage disappears into the distance, I tell our driver to continue. We finally arrive at the Earl of Jing'an estate. Someone is already waiting at the gate. My eyes immediately find that small figure up on his tiptoes, craning to look. That is my brother Leo, only 11 years old, small in stature, yet wearing the most eye-catching coral red robe. That little adult air of his makes me want to laugh. Rex steps out first, but does not move away. Instead, he turns and holds out his hand to me. Tao and Lotus smartly step aside, and suddenly every eye is on us. I place my hand in his palm and let him help me down, playing the part of a devoted couple perfectly. Sure enough, my family watches with warm and relieved smiles. A figure comes rushing at me. Leo. His eyes are bright and sparkling, his young face unable to hide his joy. That little face carries just a trace of my own features. Leo, still so reckless. He catches himself, straightens up immediately, his eyes full of admiration. I am so happy you are back. I completely forgot my manners. While we are still talking, grandmother's nanny Zhao comes forward to greet us. Miss Xia, Master Rex, the Imperial Princess and the Earl have set the banquet in the main courtyard. Please come in. Nanny Zhao coming out to receive us personally is already the highest honor grandmother can offer. After all, Rex holds no official rank or title. By protocol, my father would not even need to appear. I know this honor is something grandmother arranged specifically for my sake. I lead Rex through the Grand Earl's estate. Impressive as it is, it carries an undercurrent of cold emptiness, except for grandmother's courtyard. Sure enough, we reach the main courtyard to pay our respects to father. He gives us a brief cold glance, says a few words of pleasantry, and sends us off to see grandmother. Not a drop of warmth in his words. I feel nothing. I answer lightly and move on. I lead Rex toward the place I truly care about, grandmother's Chisha courtyard. Nanny Zhao has been waiting at the entrance for some time. The moment she sees us, her face breaks into a wide smile. We step through the gate, and the world immediately feels different. It is like stepping into another world entirely. Every brick and flower here was placed by grandfather's own hands, modeled after the chambers grandmother once lived in inside the palace. This is the place where grandmother has lived in peace her whole life. Zoe is here. A graceful and dignified figure is helped through the door. My grandmother. Her hair is entirely white, her bearing impeccable. The years have only added to her authority. Not a trace of her elegance has faded. I hurry forward and bow deeply. Your granddaughter greets you, grandmother, wishing you health and peace. Good child, come up. Grandmother lifts me up with eyes full of tenderness, her gaze holding both pride and aching love. Then her sharp gaze falls on Rex behind me. And this must be my new grandson-in-law, the third son of the Lai family? Rex reacts instantly, sweeping his robe aside and kneeling in the full royal manner. Your grandson-in-law, Rex Lai, pays his respects to the Imperial Princess. Grandmother smiles warmly and nods. Looks like a fine young man. No need for formality. Just call me grandmother, same as Zoe does. She gestures for us to sit. Rex and I thank her before taking our seats. I can feel grandmother's gaze studying Rex the entire time. He sits with his spine perfectly straight, neither humble nor arrogant, clearly wanting to make a good impression on grandmother. The fact that he tries this hard for my sake earns him another measure of grandmother's approval. And where does Master Rex serve currently? Her smile is present, but without warmth. The question is clearly a test. My chest tightens and my palms go damp, but Rex does not hide a thing. Grandmother, your grandson-in-law currently holds no official position. The moment those words land, the air goes cold. The Lai men are all top scholars of the realm. How is it that you alone have not followed in their path? My heart leaps into my throat. Rex straightens his back and speaks with steady conviction. My father and brothers serve in the court, working for the people. My path lies on the battlefield, defending the kingdom. The civil and the military are different roads, but both serve the kingdom and its people. At those words, the furrow in grandmother's brow finally eases. Her eyes fill with admiration. Well said. For his majesty, for the kingdom, for the people. Rex then lays out his plan. He intends to enter the trials at the commander's office and earn a command post in the capital garrison. Grandmother has another question. The commander's office is no easy place to break into. to? With no accomplishments to your name, you think you can just walk in? I listened to his respectful but firm reply, and inside me the tide turns over and over. I know exactly what those trials mean. In my past life, it was here that Rex made his name in a single battle, and the Emperor personally called for him by name, washing away every trace of his reputation as a worthless young lord. Thinking of that, grandmother has Rex step outside, leaving just the two of us. She takes my hands, eyes soft with warmth. You did not marry into a great noble house. Do you feel cheated, Zoe? Not at all. I give a small smile and turn it back on her. Who can really say whether that Marquise estate would have been a good match? Grandmother finally lets go of her worry completely. She tells me that the Lai family has sound values and would not let me suffer. But a great noble house is a different matter entirely. If I had truly married in and been wronged, there would have been nothing she could do. I go still. In my past life, grandmother never said any of this to me. A frightening thought rises inside me, and before I can stop myself, the words come out. Grandmother, if you always knew the Marquise estate was wrong for me, why did you agree to this match in the first place? Grandmother's eyes grow deep and still. She holds my gaze and speaks word by careful word. It was not grandmother who agreed. It was the Earl's household. It was the imperial princess. A ringing fills my head. In an instant, everything from my past life makes sense. Why I suffered without end in the Marquise estate while grandmother never intervened. Because she was the imperial princess first and my grandmother second. There was never anyone in this world who could save me. I only had myself, and I was too blind to see it. I ask shaken, then by marrying into the Lai family, have I badly disappointed father? Grandmother simply gives a faint smile. Your brother has already been placed at the Ministry of Revenue. Those words leave me without a voice. Of course, with Leo's limited abilities, how could he ever have gotten into the Ministry of Revenue on his own? This was nothing but a transaction from the very beginning. I walk out of grandmother's courtyard with my mind completely blank. Even having lived through this once before, a trade this naked and cold still cuts me to the bone. And yet, Rex has been quietly watching me from the side. Those bright eyes of his carry a flicker of genuine worry. Zoe, does grandmother not like me? He even follows up. Is it because I have no official rank? Does she feel you have been cheated? Looking at how anxious he is, I suddenly find it almost funny. It only reminds me of things that came before. I settle my feelings and decide to bring him to meet my mother. Mother's courtyard is tucked away in a far corner of the estate. Ever since she lost her hearing, her temperament has changed greatly. She avoids people. I had even thought she would not appear for my wedding at all. But today, the courtyard gate stands open early, and mother is there, supported by her nanny, standing quietly at the door waiting for me. I walk toward her in a daze and kneel with Rex. We greet you, mother. She cannot hear us, but gently signals us to rise. Nanny Zhang explains with a smile. Lady Xia knew you were coming home today and waited here especially for you. What surprises me even more is that mother has prepared a letter and return visit gifts for me. Nanny Zhang hands me the letter and tells me to read it when I get home. In my past life, mother did not spare us a single kind look. We left without even a cup of hot tea. Watching the servants carry in trunk after trunk of dowry, my eyes sting and go red. Mother is overjoyed that I'm marrying into the Lai family. She says the Ningyuan Marquise estate was too powerful a family. That was why she kept her distance before. She was afraid that if she got too close, people would talk and make trouble for me after I married in. Her coldness, it was never indifference. It was protection. My nose burns. I can't hold it together. I drop to my knees in front of her. I have been such an ungrateful daughter. I misread everything you did for me. Rex sees me like this and immediately kneels beside me. Mother panics, jumps to her feet, and shoots a sharp look at Nanny Zhang. In this moment, everything finally clicks. Father, grandmother, mother, they have all been quietly clearing a path for me, each in their own way. They never stopped loving me. They simply had no choice. All they could do was hope I would survive long enough to rise. All they could do was push me away on purpose, afraid that staying close would drag me down on my path forward. I was the foolish one. I never saw what they were really doing. Master Rex, our young lady has been spoiled since childhood. If she ever gives you any grief, send her straight back to the Earl's estate and we will handle her ourselves. My stomach twists. I brace for Rex to bristle, but instead he bows at once, his sincerity unmistakable. I will treasure Zoe with everything I have. I will treat her like she is precious and I will never let her suffer even the smallest hurt. His nervous earnestness actually makes mother laugh. After we leave her courtyard, Rex is still puzzling over it. My mother-in-law seems perfectly easy to talk to. You made her sound impossible. I don't know how to explain. I just grip mother's letter tighter inside my sleeve. I am desperate to know what she wrote. Next we head to the main hall to have dinner with father. I'm worried Rex's table manners will irritate father, but the moment he sits down, I'm stunned. He eats slowly, speaks little, and carries himself with the quiet polish of a true gentleman. He actually knows how to behave. He even picks up a choice piece of food with the serving chopsticks and places it in my bowl. You should eat more, he says quietly. Something shifts inside me. After dinner, the concubines and the younger siblings all come to greet us. Rex handles every introduction with easy grace. He presents the prepared gifts one by one, leaving no one out, even the ones who had been waiting to enjoy my embarrassment. A few well-chosen words and a gift each, and they're all charmed, calling him brother-in-law with genuine warmth. Father watches watches all of this, and a look of quiet satisfaction finally crosses his face. Father sends us to rest in my old room. The moment I'm inside, I collapse onto the daybed, exhausted from the whole day. And of course, that's exactly when Mia Lin shows up uninvited. I open my mouth, but her maid cuts in first. This is no longer just Miss Lin. The correct address is Lady of the Ningyuan Marquise Estate. There will always be people looking for a crack to slip through. You can never plug every gap. Seal that side gate first thing tomorrow. I'm tired of the interruptions. My husband is resting inside. This isn't a good time to receive guests. I smile at Mia. Unless you'd like to come in and compare husbands? See whose turns out better? That one line hits Mia like a slap. Her face goes scarlet. Tears spill down her cheeks. She chokes out. Gee, I knew you still blamed me. Your family has status, but what about me? I truly had no choice. Can't we still be sisters after everything? Sisters? I almost laugh. You are the lady of a great marquise estate. I am the wife of an ordinary household. We stopped walking the same road a long time ago. You got everything you wanted, so why come here and play pretend? Then the man beside Mia fixes his eyes on me and says, word by word, Lord Ian, the one he truly wanted to marry, was you. He never stopped thinking about you. I understand immediately what this visit is really about. He is here to assert himself, to remind me where he stands, and wrap it all in a false concern, urging me to let go of any feelings before people start talking. Feelings? The word turns my stomach. I barely crossed paths with Ian Jiang. What feelings? So, the tea at Tianlong Temple wasn't enough to hold him. You steal my engagement, and now you want to force me to claim feelings that never existed? The words land. Mia's face drains white. I smile, turn to Tao, and say, bring me that box. The lacquered box opens. Inside is a single plain jade hairpin. The instant Mia sees it, every last drop of color leaves her face. She stares at me. I hold up the hairpin and speak slowly, deliberately. We carved matching hairpins together and swore to be sisters for life. That vow is just like this hairpin. Once it shatters, it cannot be put back together. From this day, we are nothing. No! She stares at the jade fragments on the floor, her eyes flooding with pain. Tears roll down without stopping. But then, I reach for the teacup on the table. She knows that gesture. She has seen it too many times to mistake it. I smile at her softly, and slowly, in full view, pour every last drop of tea onto the floor. I will never allow myself that kind of regret again. Mia goes completely rigid. The strength drains out of her. She understands I know everything. She lets herself be escorted out, hollow and lost. What she doesn't expect is that Ian has been waiting just outside the side gate, and he steps forward the moment he sees her. Did she see me? Where is she? Mia's face is still chalk white. She grips her own hands and forces out a lie in a hoarse voice. She said she's tired today, but she'd be happy to receive you another time. Ian actually believes her. If he is willing to come to the Marquise estate, then all the better for him, he thinks. In his mind, Mia has always been my closest friend. He cannot begin to understand how, given a second life, he could have married the wrong woman. In my past life, I was dying, and his mother was already arranging his next marriage. He cannot figure out why I have become so distant and cold. Before he can find the answer, he blinks and wakes up on his wedding day. Ian comes back to himself, offers Mia a flat "thank you," and walks away. He leaves Mia standing there alone, bitter and seething. She truly cannot see where she falls short of me. Back in my courtyard, though, the storm is only just beginning. I give the order on the spot, tear out the side gate, and brick it up. Remember this well. From today, the Earl of Jing'an's estate and the Lin family are finished. Inside the room, Rex has heard every word. By the time I walk in, he is sitting perfectly straight, his expression unusually serious. I wasn't eavesdropping on purpose. One door can't block all of that. He stands up sharply. His eyes are sharp on mine. I heard what you said about tea at Tianlong Temple. What is really behind this bride swap? He's no fool. A few overheard lines, and he knows something is off. Then, a bold idea takes shape in his mind. He fixes his eyes on me and asks, one word at a time. You knew from the very beginning that I was the one you were going to marry. I look up at him. What are you talking about, husband? I have no idea what you mean. Rex's eyes go wide, but that single word, husband, stops him cold. He clenches his fists and sits back down, frowning, thinking it over for a long moment. Then suddenly he laughs. Fine! If you were willing to marry me, it means you already approved of me, which means everything nice you said that day, all of it was genuine. He actually starts congratulating himself. I am speechless. Looking at that smug, oblivious face, where does he even get the nerve? That evening, we have barely returned to the Lai estate when Rex is summoned by his parents. I wait a while, and when it's clear they haven't sent for me, I head back to Biyun Pavilion on my own. By the time Rex returns, I've already taken off my makeup and settled into bed. He pauses at the doorway, then turns and goes to the side room without a word, not disturbing me at all. Before I know it, the Mid-Autumn Festival arrives. I've barely had time to get comfortable with Claire and Petra when Mother calls me to the main hall to discuss the holiday. The palace is holding a mid-autumn banquet. Father and your husbands won't be home for the evening. Mother says it calmly, trimming flowers as she speaks. Petra cuts in anxiously. Is my husband attending the banquet too? This year's palace banquet is different. I'm afraid they may be selecting brides for the princes. Petra's lips press together instantly, her face a map of worry about her husband catching someone else's eye. Mother shakes her head and turns to me. Zoe, what did you like to eat back home? The moon is still the same moon. Being together with family, that is all reunion truly means. Being here with Mother and my sisters-in-law is more than enough for me. Oh, that is so sweet to hear. Mother lights up immediately, her smile wide and unstoppable. She decides on the spot to add several of my favorite dishes to the family dinner. Clara and Petra quickly make their excuses and leave. Mother keeps me behind, alone. Her expression shifts. A shadow of worry settles over her face. Has Rex mentioned anything to you? The trials at the commander's office begin right after the mid-autumn holiday. Honestly, I just don't feel settled about it. She sets down her shears. Does Rex actually have what it takes to pull this off? He and your father-in-law have never seen eye to eye, and now Rex insists on entering these trials. The old man doesn't believe in him one bit. He's even said outright that Rex is setting himself up for humiliation. That hits me hard. The Grand Chancellor thinks so little of his own son. The Grand Chancellor looking down on his own blood. The training ground is fierce. Every competitor there comes from a military family, bred for exactly this. Standing out won't be easy. Now I understand what's really weighing on her. I ask gently, Mother, are you afraid that if Rex loses, it will embarrass the Grand Chancellor's family? She shakes her head quickly. No, that's not it. Her voice is full of tenderness. I just worry that Rex has put his whole heart into this. If he loses, the blow could crush him. Rex has made his decision. He understands that winning and losing are both part of the journey. If he can't weather one competition, how will he ever lead troops into battle? Mother, you'd do better to sit back and wait. Wait to watch your son become a general whose name shakes the whole kingdom. And when that day comes, you'll have plenty to brag about in front of Father. That lands right in the center of her heart. She laughs out loud, eyes full of warmth as she looks at me. You wonderful girl. The more I see of you, the more I adore you. Still laughing, unable to stop smiling, she quietly slips me a box of fine tea. But the moment I step back into Biyun Pavilion, Rex is already there. My two maids are huddled at the end of the corridor, sneaking glances at him. I ask what's going on. Apparently, he plans to eat dinner with me tonight, the first time since our wedding. I step inside. The red wedding character is still on the window. Something about it feels strange. We have been married all this time, and he has kept his distance and respected every boundary. But he is still my husband, married through proper ceremony. I can't exactly keep him in the side room forever. Just then, Rex mentions he's stepping out to the storage room. I don't even look up. I just keep reading. When the food arrives, he walks back in at exactly the same moment, carrying a small box. He sets it in front of me, one eyebrow lifted slightly, with just a hint of satisfaction. Open it. I open it, puzzled, and go completely still. It's not a jewel or a treasure. It's a pair of rough clay figurines, clumsily made. I look up at him. He's smiling, corners of his mouth curled up. I made them myself. I'm not sure what compliment to offer. Rex, they're quite something. He gets flustered and glares at me. I'm not asking for a compliment. Don't you see, it's a pair? I had it all figured out when I was making them. This one is me and this one is my wife. I'm putting them in your keeping. I nearly laugh out loud. He actually has a side this boyish. I close the box and say evenly, Tao, put this away. Rex goes wide-eyed. I pause, then add, handle it carefully. That earns a satisfied look. Tao takes the box with both hands. Don't worry, Master Rex. I will keep this safe, and I will never let my lady and her husband be separated. Rex is thoroughly pleased. But midway through dinner, he suddenly tells the servants to bring my food over to his side. He knows I find his eating habits rough. What is he up to? Instead, he has the servants divide the meal into 2 portions and place a folding screen between us. I stare at him, truly at a loss. Rex, why go to all this trouble? You ate perfectly fine in the side room. Mind your own food. Rex gives a quiet scoff, but his eyes cut straight through the screen and fix on me, as if just watching me is enough to give him an appetite. Dinner barely ends when Father calls Rex away. I don't need to think twice about why. The palace banquet. Rex holds no title or post, so by rights he shouldn't attend. Father must be giving him a lecture. What I don't expect is that when Rex comes back and sees the lamp still lit in my room, he pushes the door open and walks straight in. My maids want to stop him, but don't dare. He waves them all out. Then he crosses the room and pulls the book clean out of my hands. Stop pretending. You haven't turned a single page. My ears go warm. What is it, Rex? You know exactly what it is. He smiles and leans closer, his arms sliding around my waist, his warm breath brushing my face. The moment he dips his head down, I shoot my hand up and block him. I press my handkerchief over my nose, eyes sharp with irritation. Rex, maybe go take a bath first. Rex's face goes dark as a storm. I already bathed, he snaps, pulling away, even lifting his arm to smell himself. I lean back with open distaste, my eyes drifting pointedly to his feet. If you can't get yourself properly clean, the maids can help. That does it. He is absolutely furious. He shoves to his feet. You're so precious. Clearly I'm not worth your time. He storms out, face like iron. My lady, what happened? All you did was ask him to take a bath. Surely that isn't such a big deal. My lady, men are proud. You put him in a position where he had nowhere to go. If he's that proud, he shouldn't have come to my room in the first place. I feel even worse. My lady, leave this to me. He's the one who walked out. There's no reason for me to go and fetch him back. Hearing that, I feel a little better. For the next 2 days, Rex leaves early and returns late, making it perfectly clear he is sulking. I don't bother engaging. Then mid-autumn arrives, Father and the others leave for the palace banquet, and Rex finally shows his face. But the moment I enter the main hall, he is sitting there with a cold expression. I step forward and greet him properly. He doesn't even lift his eyes. And what's more, when I sit down beside him, he actually shifts away from me. The entire family notices. Father's face darkens on the spot. If he weren't in a hurry to get to the palace, he would have said something then and there. Even after their carriages have gone, Rex still hasn't looked at me once, but however much he sulks with words, he never slacks where it matters. After locking the main gate, he personally walks every side gate to make sure they're secured. Then, Nanny Do, is there something you need? Master Rex, my lady is still young and doesn't always choose her words well. She upset you, and I want to apologize on her behalf. You know, you can't force a flower to bloom. You can't rush it with too strong a hand. If you're a little more patient with her, things between you will sort themselves out sooner rather than later. She hands him a small palm-sized box. Rex stares at it for a long moment before taking it. After Nanny Do leaves, he opens it with a stiff expression. Inside is a bar of scented soap, the very one I complained about and made her use. He snaps the lid shut, his face full of resentment, but he holds onto it, can't bring himself to throw it away. Instead, he turns and goes to the side room, actually fills the tub and uses that soap, scrubbing himself head to toe until he is spotless. The whole production takes a full hour. Once he's changed into dry clothes, he heads straight for my room, barely able to wait. I am writing a letter to Mother, telling her, among other things, how Rex has been expanding the garden for me, when he pushes in. Go ahead and look then. He gives a quiet scoff and actually leans over to read. I tense, then catch a familiar scent. The soap. He really did it, so I don't push him away this time. He grins immediately, throws his arm around me and pulls me close. I lean into his chest and say lightly, I thought you were never coming back in here. With me in his arms, his voice softens noticeably, but his hands start to wander. I bite my lip and pin them down firmly. If you treat me like this every day, I'll naturally go along with whatever you want. He pushes for more. And if you respect my boundaries, I won't turn you away. He stops cold, probably rethinking everything Nanny Do ever told him about my gentle nature. I take the chance to push him off and remind him there's a family dinner soon. He grabs me again, presses his lips to my cheek and my ear. When he sees I'm actually getting angry, he finally lets go, thoroughly pleased with himself, and strolls out in a great mood. I am genuinely irritated. I catch my reflection, ears pink, while my maids hide their smiles behind their hands. Not long after, Rex comes back, to walk me over himself. It's only a few steps away, yet he makes the trip himself. At the main courtyard, Nina comes running up holding 2 rabbit lanterns. I smile and compliment her on them, and she immediately blurts out, Rex taught me how to make these when we were little. I go still, that rough, brash soldier, patient enough, gentle enough to teach a child to make lanterns. At the family dinner, Petra holds a tiny baby girl, perfect as carved jade, drawing everyone's admiration. I offer a polite word and move on. Infants that small genuinely don't interest me. Then the banquet begins. A full table of beautiful dishes, the atmosphere warm and easy. I take a small sip from my cup, osmanthus wine. Mother smiles and says, Clara made this herself. We are all very lucky. She looks at the 3 of us daughters-in-law, her face full of contentment. After dinner, we move outside to enjoy the moon. The children run around with their lanterns, laughing and playing, and something in my chest goes warm. Whether as a child in the Earl's estate, or in my past life inside the Ningyuan Marquise estate, I have never felt this free, this easy. Mother never places strict rules on her daughters-in-law. The whole family breathes together in harmony. Then, Mother leans over and speaks quietly. Father runs a tight ship with the grandchildren, not just the little ones. Even the older boys got plenty of scolding growing up. Something stirs in me, curiosity I can't quite suppress. What about Rex? Mother's smile goes soft, and she starts telling me about him. Rex had it harder than any of them. Your father-in-law poured everything into that boy, criticism, punishment, constant pressure. But as Rex grew, the more he was pushed, the more he dug in. The harder Father pressed him to study, the more he rebelled, until finally he walked straight into the military hall and never looked back. She turns to me, her tone shifting, each word deliberate. Rex is built this way. Go with him, not against him, and he'll actually become easier to handle. Try to force him and, well, I understand immediately. She is teaching me how to manage my husband. But I look down, and something inside me goes cold. I swallowed that lesson whole in my past life, gave and bent and bent. And I lost everything, including my life. Now I have been given a second chance. Why would I walk the same road again? Why swallow it all in silence? My thoughts are still tangled when Nina appears. Zoe, there's a new tea house that just opened in the capital. Will you come with me? Her birthday is coming up, and Mother is letting her spend some time with her friends. I agree on the spot and say I need to stop by the jewelry house anyway. Nina is thrilled. She whispers to me, Clara hasn't been well, Petra can't leave the baby, so you're the one I want most. We've barely finished talking when I turn and stop completely. Rex is standing quietly at the end of the path, holding a small grass lantern, the soft glow making him look gentler than usual. I find myself looking a beat longer than I mean to. I have to admit, Rex cuts a striking figure. Just standing there, he draws the eye. He doesn't have the refinement of the second son, or the steadiness of the eldest, but there is a sharp, commanding presence about him that's entirely his own. For a face like that, I can endure quite a bit. He falls into step beside me, lantern in hand. The dark path suddenly feels less daunting. What I don't expect at all, when we get back to the room, he doesn't go to the side room. He follows me into the main chamber and sits down, pours himself a cup of water, and fixes both eyes on me. The look in them hot and steady, as if he could simply burn me down where I stand. I ask Tao and Lotus to help me take off my jewelry. Rex suddenly rises, his tall frame looming in the mirror, pressing toward me. The next moment, before I can even react, he lifts me clean off the ground. Tao and Lotus go red in the face and scramble out, pulling the door shut behind them. The sudden move catches me completely off guard. I can't help but demand an answer. What do you think you're doing? I thought you were used to the arrangement. Before the last word is out, he dips his head and kisses me hard. A heavy wave of alcohol hits me. My stomach turns. He's about to press forward, and I swing my arm in a panic. A sharp crack. The sound cuts through the room. Everything goes still. Rex tilts his head to the side, chest heaving. He slowly releases me and turns, looking somehow both angry and unamused. Is the sight of me really that unbearable? When it comes down to it, I still can't measure up to that celebrated Lord Ian of the Ningyuan Marquise estate, the one who could actually make your heart move. He says it like a man who's given up, then turns and walks out in long strides. Tao and Lotus rush back in. I press my lips together and look away. It wasn't disgust. I hit him. I sit up, and the smell still lingering, garlic and liquor mixed together, is too much. This man, how can he be so careless? Didn't even rinse his mouth or wash his face before coming near me. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. I call for water immediately, and scrub my face again and again, not stopping until every trace of that smell is gone. Then I finally lie down. What I don't expect, the consequences of that slap are worse than I imagined. The very next day, Rex uses preparation for the trials as an excuse and moves himself into the military hall entirely. Now the whole Lai estate knows we have fallen out. Mother sends people to check on the situation several times. I say nothing. Eventually, even Father finds out. He is furious. He tears into Rex, saying Rex had the privilege of marrying a noble daughter of the Earl's family, and instead of treating her well, he throws a tantrum and moves out. Mother just sighs. In the end, it always comes back to her son falling short. I have no interest in any of it. A few days later, Nina and I pick a fine day and head out together. Mother agrees without a second thought. On top of that, she quietly pulls Nina aside and asks her to talk some sense into me. We set out with a full escort. I take a bamboo hat and a gauze veil and cover myself completely. Nina finds it curious, but doesn't ask. She just climbs happily into the carriage beside me. What she doesn't know is that all the city's noise and color, it feels both familiar and strange to me. Back in the Earl's estate, I was the eldest daughter, the one they all looked up to, locked inside those high walls. Then I married into the Ningyuan Marquise estate. I became the wife everyone envied, and stepped into an even smaller cage. All this city life, I only ever glimpsed it from a distance. We're here. Nina's voice pulls me back. Rex used to sneak her out here when they were young, so she knows it well. The carriage stops in front of a tea house called the Four Treasures Tea House. Do you know what the four treasures are? The first is tea, the second is incense, the third is pastries and sweets, and the fourth? Can you guess? Paintings. Before I can answer, she bursts out with it. Apparently, the tea house is looking to paint the most beautiful women in the land. To have your portrait hung here? That's considered a tremendous honor. Behind my veil, one eyebrow lifts slightly. Now I'm curious. So whose portrait is hanging there? Nina bites her lip, a little embarrassed. None. Apparently, the artist claims he hasn't found anyone worthy of his brush. I let out a quiet, dry laugh. A little tea house with very grand ideas. We head inside. It's packed. More women than men, which is surprising enough. Even stranger, folding screens divide the seating into two sections. Men on one side, women on the other. Nina orders with the ease of someone who's done it 100 times, adds a full spread of sweets and pastries, and fills the table. I'm a little surprised. She's young, but she spends like someone who never had to count coins. Don't underestimate me, she says. I have several shops of my own, and Mother gave me spending money before we left. You're not paying for a thing today. I laugh despite myself, but then she props her chin in both hands, her face turning wistful. Next year I come of age. But I don't want to get married. A girl who has come of age can start receiving proposals. I look down quietly. You're still young, there's no rush. But I know the truth. A girl like Nina, with a father and brothers to stand behind her, gets to be choosy. As for me, I have never had a say in my own fate. Nina, still full of cheerful energy, nudges me to try the sweets. She has no idea. Choosing a husband is a woman's second chance at life. My own marriage was delayed by 3 full years. I'm smiling, about to reach for a pastry when I freeze. These pastries, something about them feels impossibly familiar. And then a voice cuts through the screen and reaches me clearly. The young lord rarely comes out these days. You simply must try the tea here. And then a man walks in surrounded by attendants, tall and striking, and it's Ian Jiang. In an instant, everything clicks. That's why these pastries feel so familiar. In my past life, he brought home a box exactly like this. At the moment when I thought he was growing cold toward me, when I had started to doubt myself, he came back with this so-called gift. Just a box of pastries, and it was enough to make me give him my whole heart. Zoe, why aren't you eating? Too sweet. I don't like sweet things. I pick up a plain rice cake and pretend to eat. Nina starts talking about the stress of her birthday party. All her friends are about to get married, and after that, seeing each other will be hard. She looks at me hopefully, and asks what I think of the Four Treasures Tea House. I think it's elegant enough, but too showy and too expensive. I shift the conversation. When is your birthday? The 11th of October. A quiet smile crosses my face. An idea takes shape immediately. Tea houses and restaurants are crowded and full of loose talk, too easy for trouble to find you. When I married, grandmother gave me a hot spring villa not far from the capital. If you don't mind, take my authorization token and bring your friends to soak in the springs. We can order some of these pastries to bring along. Quiet, comfortable, and perfect. Consider it my birthday gift to you. Before the words are fully out, Nina's eyes light up. Then she hesitates. But grandmother gave that to you. How can I go before you do? I take her hand gently. We're family. Why keep such careful score? Besides, you'd be checking it out for me. I'll go myself another time. That does it. Nina can't hold back her excitement any longer. She loops her arm through mine. I knew Rex really hit the jackpot with you. If I were a boy, I'd fight him for you. I give her a mortified look. Don't say things like that. She settles down, but the grin on her face refuses to leave. Then she sits up. Wait, Zoe, today is the day Rex competes. If we count the time, it should be his turn soon. Can we go watch? I'm caught off guard. Nina laughs and winks at me. You planned this outing for today. Wasn't it so you could cheer Rex on? I know exactly what's going on. Rex hasn't been home in days. You must be missing him. Nina grabs my hand, laughing, and pulls me to my feet. If we leave now, we'll make it. I feel completely calm inside. I just don't want to stay here any longer, so I let her pull me up and we head out, but right as we reach the door, a voice calls out from behind us. Wait, my chest tightens. It's Ian Jung. Nina spots him immediately. She goes on guard at once, steps in front of me and glares at him. Who are you? I can feel her grip tighten. This girl is trying to protect me, but Ian pays her no attention. His eyes lock on me, burning right through my veil. Then, his expression shifts into something complicated, and he says, Gee, is that you? My heart slams. The man who was stone cold to me in my past life, and he recognizes me at a glance. Oh, you're Lord Ian, from the Ningyuan Marquis estate. He catches up, the disdain in his eyes barely contained. Nina looks him over from head to toe, then gives a cold snort and tilts her chin up. What business does Lord Ian have blocking our way? We have somewhere to be. Ian's expression drops. He clearly hates that. I need to speak with Ji, alone. Nina scoffs. What an unmannered man, calling her by name in public like that and then demanding a private conversation? Nobody wants to talk to you. She grabs me and starts walking. Ian reaches out to stop us. Nina's temper is not for show. Without a word, she shoves him out of the way, pulls me along at a fast clip, and gets us into the carriage. Ian is still standing at the entrance, staring after us. Just then, a tea house attendant cheerfully hands him a complimentary pastry box, identical to the one I once treasured with my whole heart in my past life. How disgusting. Nina is still fuming, but I don't hear a single word. As the carriage curtain falls, everything becomes clear. That gift was never chosen for me. It was a complimentary handout he accepted without thought. All the joy I felt in my past life. A joke from beginning to end. The absurdity of that past life still churns in my head. But then I look at Nina, sitting beside me, still fired up on my behalf, and something warm stirs in my chest. I lift the carriage curtain and look at her gently. Thank you for today, but try not to act so rashly next time. Her face goes firm immediately. She balls her fist. I just can't stand men like that, knowing full well who you are and still acting so brazen. This girl's temper really does remind me of Mother. She turns to me, eyes bright. When Rex wins today, I'm going straight to him with a full report. I can't help but laugh. It's just so her. The carriage reaches the commander's office before long, but the training ground outside is packed with people, and the guards are strict. No entry without a reason. Just then, Nina jumps out and announces herself to the guards. The moment they hear she's the Grand Chancellor's daughter, their whole manner changes. They wave us through. Inside, I stop and stare. The viewing stands are already filled with families from every household. A dense, dark crowd, not a single open seat. Zoe, Rex hasn't gone yet, but I'm afraid we'll have to stand. I shake my head lightly. That's actually perfect. I lean close to her and lower my voice. This is a good chance to find out which military families have sons competing today. Nina's eyes go bright. I was just thinking the same thing. She turns and calls over one of our guards at once, giving him quiet instructions to go and find out. Then she plants herself right beside me and doesn't move an inch. What she doesn't know is, my plan has barely begun.